I won't make you wait anymore. But since I thought this whole month is all about patience, I was hoping you practice patience. Patience is waiting until later for what you want now. That is so good because all month we've been learning how to wait with patience instead of complaining or getting angry. When you're hungry, but it's not quite dinner time, you can be patient. When your mom is like on the phone and you want to ask her a question, you can be patient. When something happens to you that just doesn't make any sense, you can be patient and trust that God has a bigger plan. Like it says in our memory verse, Psalms 27:14. Go ahead and do it with me. Ready? Wait for the Lord. Be strong and don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord. Psalms 27:14. We can wait for what God has planned. We can stay strong and trust that He knows best.
Man, God sure knows best how to do patience.
I'm gonna need some patience to work with you.
Yeah, we're gonna be working together. We're gonna need some patience. We each got one hand.
Yep.
Have fun. All right, we're gonna make a cake, ball, pop, snowman.
Man thing.
All right, ready? Go. Oh man, yeah, here, I'll help you.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah, get
dude.
it.
Oh, man. Okay, we
Okay,
gotta
all
make
right,
it into
roll it together.
What do you mean roll it together?
Smush it.
Help me, man.
I am, I'll hold the ball.
I got
Oh, crazy man.
I got one hand, man. You gotta help me out.
Oh.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, here you go.
There's a
Scoop it.
ball.
Okay.
You gotta mold it, man.
All right. Okay, one ball, one snowman ball.
Okay, make
Okay,
another ball.
here. I need a little bit more of that.
I got it all on my hands, man.
All right. Oh man, we need one more for the head. Give me the head. Get the rest of that. Got the head. Oh man. All right, get the eyes for me, bro. Get the eyes.
What do you mean get the eyes? I got
Get in there. Just a couple. Stick them on there.
Yeah.
How did we do? Take a bite. Eat the snowman's head. All right, it's time to slide off into the Bible story. Here we go. I thought we were going this way.
Hi friends! I've got a super cool Bible story for you that shows us how important patience can be. As I'm sure you all know, it can be really hard to be patient. How many of you have heard an adult say, "Just give me a minute," or "It's almost ready"? I'm not going to lie. When I was a kid, riding in the car with my parents, there's something I would always ask. Are we there yet? Every day there are times when you have to wait. At school or in virtual learning, you have to wait for the teacher to call on you. Maybe you have to wait for your turn to use the tablet to get your homework done. How about waiting in lines? At lunch, at the library, at the bus stop, at the store. Lines are everywhere. The hardest one for me is waiting for holidays, like for Christmas or my birthday. We have lots of chances to use patience. But let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about what you can lose if you're not patient? That's what today's story is about. Let's dive into our Bible story.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story inspired by the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verses 24 through 34.
When Abraham's son Isaac grew up, he married a girl named Rebecca. But it didn't seem as though they'd be able to have children.
Please, God, give us children.
But God answered Isaac's prayers, and Rebecca became pregnant with twins.
Isaac, I'm pretty sure they're having a wrestling match in here.
Oh, definitely boys.
Rebecca asked God about the struggle she could feel. He told her,
2 nations are in your body. 1 nation will be stronger than the other. The older son will serve the younger one.
When it was time for the babies to be born, they came out fighting. Esau was born first. He came out with a strong set of lungs and a head full of red hair. His brother Jacob was born moments later, still holding on to Esau's heel.
How on earth did he manage that?
The brothers shared the same birthday, but as they grew, that was about the only thing they had in common. Esau loved to roam far out into the wilderness.
I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
Jacob preferred the comforts of home.
The sun is so hot. I'll just take a little nap in the tent.
Esau loved to hunt wild animals.
That is one excellent wildebeest.
Jacob preferred a different type of hunting.
Not you, not you. Ha! The perfect ripe honeydew melon.
One fine morning, Esau headed out into the wilds in search of adventure and some nice, juicy venison.
I'll feast tonight.
But Esau went all morning without spotting a single rabbit.
Ugh, should have packed a lunch.
In the afternoon, he tracked a deer for hours, but he missed his chance as the deer sprang away.
Ah!
At last, Esau headed for home, defeated. He was tired and irritated and so hungry he could eat an entire woolly mammoth.
Must eat food.
As Esau neared camp, a delicious smell wafted out to greet him.
Food!
Jacob had been home all day, resting and plucking his favorite herbs from his garden.
A little coriander, some dill.
As evening approached, Jacob used his savory herbs to whip up a tasty red lentil stew and a batch of fresh, buttery bread.
This will crisp up nicely on the hot stones.
By the time Esau had arrived in camp, Jacob's stew was simmered to perfection, and the bread was hot and crusty.
Food! Food!
Esau lunged for the stew cauldron, ready to grab a bowl, but Jacob blocked his path.
Not so fast.
Step aside, I'm hungry.
Clearly.
Just let me have some of that red stew.
Certainly.
Esau tried to dive for the stew pot again.
Just one itty-bitty thing.
What?
Well, first, give me the rights that belong to you as the oldest son.
Esau spent more time listening to his stomach than his brain. So in that moment, his stomach won out.
Look, I'm dying of hunger. If I die, those rights are pointless anyway. Now give me that stew.
Esau sprang forward once more.
Promise to give me your rights.
Fine.
Fine what?
Fine, I promise.
Promise what?
I promise to give you my rights as the oldest.
Cool. Help yourself.
Jacob stepped aside as Esau hurled himself at the stew pot.
Stew!
Esau happily gorged himself on rich stew and fresh bread. But as his stomach filled up, he had time to stop and think again. Esau had just traded the rights of a lifetime for a meal that would only last him a few hours.
It's hard to imagine being so hungry that you'd give up something as important as a birthright. But that's exactly what Esau did. He traded his rights of a lifetime for a meal that would only fill his stomach for just a few hours. I don't know if Jacob's stew was as delicious as my signature recipe chili, but do you think it was worth a birthright? I don't think so either. But in the moment when Esau was tired, hungry, and impatient, he gave up something that was really important and valuable. Sometimes when we're impatient, there's a big cost. That's why we need to remember today our bottom line. And this is what it is. If you don't wait, it could cost you. Let's say it together. If you don't wait, it could cost you. You might not lose your birthright like Esau did, but you could lose screen time privileges. You could miss out on doing something fun with your family. You could hurt a friendship by saying something you regret. That's why we need to learn to wait until later for the things we want right now. We need to sprinkle in some patience.
I love sprinkles, but I also love stew, and stew sounds so good right now. But no matter how good that stew must have tasted, I bet Esau really regretted trading away his birthrights to Jacob. Jacob ended up playing a big part as a leader of his family in God's big story. As a matter of fact, Jacob was part of the family line that eventually led to Jesus. Because Esau was impatient, he missed out on all of that, even though it was originally his birthright. The next time you have to wait for something you really want, take a second to think. Think about what it could cost you if you're not patient. And remember, this is today's bottom line. It says, if you don't wait, it could cost you. All right, go ahead and say it with me. Ready? If you don't wait, it could cost you. It takes a lot of trust to wait for something you want right now. You have to trust God and believe that His timing is always perfect, even when you can't understand why. If you have trouble waiting and you need some help, you can always talk to God about it. Or you can talk to people who are following God too, like your parents. And you know what, Steamboat kids? We will see you next week.